Hey guys, welcome. So how are you guys? How has this last week and a half been treating you? It's been a little while since the last video now, and there is lots and lots of information coming in, a lot of channelings. So I will be sharing some information in regards to the physical body and the upgrading and how to some tips on the physical level on how to support the body through this, all of this energy that we find ourselves in. There's also been coming in some channelings and some information on both the whole world and specifically on Europe and Australia. So I will be making videos on that as soon as I can. It takes a bit of time to go through and listen through all the channelings. A couple of times after a channel, I had to re-listen to the recording of it and then take some notes and prepare the videos on it because it's so much information in each channeling. So it's a bit of work. So I will get to it as soon as I can. I will also say that I am aware there has been a couple of comments on some videos that has been taken away. I have no idea why. It's not me. That's the point. I guess it's YouTube that has just randomly just taken away a couple of comments. I really appreciate all of you guys who comments and just know that if for some reason the comment is away, it's not me who has taken it away. So please keep commenting. I really appreciate it, and I love hearing how you guys are and what you get out of these videos. And also it's very helpful if you share the videos if it resonates, so more people can get the messages. So let's get to it, shall we? It's been, in my experience, very intense. I did not intend to wait this long to come out with a video, and I really wanted during this last week to do a video to support you guys and to share some of the information I've been receiving on how to support the body. But I was completely wiped out. I was horizontal for several days myself, so my physical body just, it was impossible for me. So here I finally am, and we'll get to it. What I've been explaining me is that there's an upgrading happening of the physical body. And I mean, there's no need to tell you guys that things are intense in the physical and on the world stage. But apart from that external experience that we see and all of that, there's also all of this that I've been talking about before, the energy is coming in from the universe and all the energy coming up from the inner earth. And also this new grid that the energy is starting to move in. So it's a shift in how the energy is moving on the earth with all this energy that is coming in. And so our physical system as well is adapting to sort of shift from that old structure that the energy was moving in and into this new grid and start to work with that. And for the physical body, it's a lot of changes. We're shifting on a cellular level now. And they have started to explain me a bit of the chakras and also like the layers of the they say what we call the light body, and they say that we are moving into an upgraded physical body, which is what we term as the light body, and that the way the chakras and the sort of layers of this body, because it's like a multi-dimensional, the way they show it to me is almost like if you go into, you know, these what's it called, like adventure parks or whatever, you know, and you go into this room and there's like mirrors all over, so you like look at yourself in the mirror and you see like multiple just like layers of yourself almost. It's like you can't even count them. It's almost like that. Like that's probably the most similar thing in the physical that I can compare it to. And so what is happening is that in these layers there are, so they explain it to me as if it would be like a smaller chakra, almost like an energy center. So what it means is that it's points that are working with the chakras in the main physical vessel, and there are almost like these points around that is communicating directly with them. So it's a wider energetic system in a way that is coming more online in a more physical experience. I hope this makes sense to you guys, because it's sometimes very difficult to explain, or to bring words to these things. So please ask if something is unclear, and I will explain to the best of my ability. But as this is happening, what to focus on now is what I've said, and that has been happening a lot for many over the last week, and that will continue to happen, is that we are clearing out the energy centers, so our chakras. Because the distortions are sort of anchored in our energy center. And because the physical body is not longer, because the physical body is shifting and changing with all of these frequencies, and as this is happening, it won't any longer hold so it's like the distortions can't be held or anchored and supported in the physical body or in the energy center anymore. So as this is releasing, it can feel very intense on a physical level. These distortions are, belief systems, it's patterns, it's traumas, it's all of these things that we continuously are clearing. But what is happening is that it's coming up more, it's releasing more, it's like a detox of the energetic system and the physical system, because both are evolving, both are upgrading. And so what is of the old, what is the distorted, almost like these two grids that I have been explaining of, that the energy will start moving in a different way in this new energetic structure. It's the same happening with the body. And as the energy starts moving differently in our body and the frequency is rising in our body, what is of a lower frequency and what is distorted will no longer be held or anchored. So no matter how much we resist it, it will come up. The more we resist it, the more hard the experience will be, or the more suffering we will cause ourselves, really. The most important thing you can do to support yourself through this process is to be aware of the power of your energy and of your light. Because the light you hold in your body is of a really high frequency. So the consciousness that you are, the soul that you are, is a very high frequency. So it's the body shifting to a higher frequency, and you becoming more and more aware of this higher consciousness and the light that you hold in your body. And so as we are remembering more and more of who we truly are, meaning that consciousness that is embodying all that we no longer are, everything that we thought we were that we aren't, is sort of shedding off. And the more we attach and identify with those old distortions, the more challenging it will be through that process. And so if we are aware of this light and use that presence in this process, we know that where our attention goes, our energy flows, and we have a lot of energy, and so we hold a lot of power with our energy. And if you really use that, instead of being disempowered, and going into that, or feel that we can't do anything and we're just, a victim to everything happening. What I have been reminding me over and over again is use what you know, use the knowledge that where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you have something going on in the physical body, you have a belief system coming up, you have some trauma coming up, whatever it is, remember that it is an energy center clearing, because it can't hook in anymore, and so it needs to get out. In that process, if you use your attention and you focus your light, remembering that you hold a really high frequency light, and you use that light to focus on the distortion, it assists it to come out, because the reason why it's coming up is because of this higher frequency that is coming in up from the earth in, and you're embodying more of who you are. And so that's why the process happens in the first place. And so if you really use that light and you focus right on the distortion, with that light, holding it and letting it dissolve, instead of running away, trying to escape, trying to suppress it, because it will come up anyways. You won't be able to suppress or escape it in the long run. But know that by being present with it, it doesn't mean that you are believing it. So it can tell you all these things, right? This old belief or whatever it is. It's not about believing it or becoming it or identifying with it. It is knowing that if I use my light and shine my light on this, I will see what it is, and it will be possible for it to dissolve and release more quickly. Because our light is of love, and the love will sort of melt it away and it will dissolve it. But it needs our presence, and that's a power only you hold for yourself. What I have said also is that nature is really it can support us a lot in this process, because it's helping the cells in our bodies to adapt to the frequency and to sort of stabilize. So when we have all these changes going on, and the cells is like turning on and they are shifting and they're changing, and we put our bodies and just be present in the nature, our body will start to entrain with the frequency in the nature, and it will help stabilize the system on a very physical level. So that's helpful. Grounding, you can ground in nature. You can also, use visualizations. You can hold on a tree. All these things we can do to ground. Find what works for you and really ground it. It really helps. Then be in joy when you can. If it's like a day or some hours that are really intense, or it's a whole week that is really intense, the moments that you feel joy, just really, really feel it, really be in it, feel that love, the joy, the gratitude, and really hold it and be in it, because that also assists the body. When you're feeling despair, don't judge yourself for not being in joy. That's escaping, right? So if you're feeling that, you want to feel it through. Where is it in my body? How can I shine my light on this? How can I actually be with it, with the power of the light that I am, to help it dissolve? And then when you feel the joy, you really enjoy it. Acceptance for any moment, it can be very challenging at times, I know. But acceptance for what the moment holds, it helps us move through it. Staying hydrated, very important, and letting the body have rest when it needs. So those are the things that I have been, the points they have been given me to assist the body now. they say that many people will have a lot of in and out of body experiences, so sort of like feeling like they go in and out of body all the time. Time glitches and a lightning sensation of pain. So this was explained to me like as if it's like a lightning striking with pain in the body. So it just is for a moment and it's gone. And it can be like in random places on the body. Now, I'm not saying that if you have that experience, it cannot be anything physical that shouldn't be attended to. You know your body, you follow your intuition on that. That's really important. But if it's out of nowhere, just random places, that is something that also is happening in this process, is what I've been telling me. And remember that what you are releasing is only what you once thought you were. And if you remember that what you are releasing is only what you thought you were, it's not really who you are, it will feel more safe for you to hold space for yourself. Because sometimes we are afraid of what is releasing, what we need to let go of, because we're so attached to it and we don't know, the unknown can be scary. We are trained to believe that the unknown is scary. But if you then remind yourself that what I'm releasing isn't really what I am, it's what I once thought I was, or a layer that I no longer am, if you want, that can assist you in feeling safer as you're moving through the process. Really trust you, trust your intuition. If you are in fear, you're in a lot of anxiety, come back to your body and breathe. Be aware of what energy you're making a decision from, or what energy you're coming from. Also, if you have a sort of like an intuitive feeling and you're not sure if it's your intuition, feel into it. If it feels like it comes from a place of fear and anxiety, it is probably the fear and anxiety talking. So go deeper than that. Sit with it, just breathe through it, and know that that's not the truth. And then it will emerge more easily. But really trust you more than anyone else. Trust yourself. There are a lot of heart openings, deeper and deeper heart openings, and the ego can get louder and louder. So what they told me was there are many people who make the ego the sort of bad guy all the time, and like we need to kill the ego, we need to get rid of the ego, and it's only like messing things up for us constantly. But I said that now the ego is going to get louder. And can you look at it in a way of knowing that it's assisting you to clear distortions? So the ego can get really loud when it tells you about your highs and your lows. So things can feel very much like a roller coaster now. And when the ego comes out and is like really loud thing talking, and attaching in a way to the highs or to the lows, or telling everything that is bad, or with the low, or just attaching and doing the same thing, just the polar opposite with the highs, know that that's an ego attached to the distortion. And an integrated and balanced ego is a gift. So when you feel like you have this louder voice and there's like this deep attachment or really like strong identification with something, either when it's a high or a low, be aware then that, oh, now if I listen to my ego, now if I listen to this voice that keeps talking and I don't attach to it, but I keep in my center, I keep balanced and grounded, and I listen to this voice that is coming from either the low or the high, what is it telling me? Because that will direct you straight to that belief, straight to that distortion. and it will make it so much easier to clear, because it's just, you know, like a disco ball, you know, just like shining over there. And if we, instead of just, oh, it's just the ego, I don't want to look at it, I'm gonna kill it, and like, you know, if we have this mindset, we are also missing out on a great opportunity to have awareness of what's actually going on, because the ego will tell you what the depth of it is. And also, in my experience, I've been experiencing this in a very interesting way sometimes, that I can feel this one side which is very familiar, which I know, like, this is old beliefs, this is, you know, the way I've been, these are patterns I've been changing. And then it's the polar opposite that I can also sort of hear, and it's very unfamiliar. But through just staying in the center place and just observing what these are saying, or the, you know, the energy of it, it's sort of just coming in and evaporating and balancing out by itself. It's very, very interesting. And this is much more accessible now, because we are rising in frequency. So let me take a look at my notes, if I have forgot something. I think we got it covered for today. I hope this is helpful for you guys. Stay true to you, trust yourself, and it's moving so rapidly now, that even though things are really intense and it can be challenging in moments, remember that it can turn like this. It doesn't mean that you're going into, you know, long periods that it's going to be intense or challenging. Even though it's gonna be intense for a while in the external, it's very important to stay present to your experience in your body, and don't think that you have to stay the same as the external. Remember that by you shedding what you are not, by you standing in your truth, by you empowering yourself and really remembering how powerful your light is, and the attention, what you put your attention in, when you stand up and using your voice, when you're speaking your truth, that it comes from a place of love, acceptance, of joy, of creation, of the new you want to create, rather than a fear, anxiety, resisting, fighting type of energy, because that's the energy we are moving out of. So it's the same with the external as it is in the body, really. But stay true to you, trust yourself, and take very good care of yourself, nurture yourself. And I hope this can help you. I'm looking forward to see you guys in the next video. Thank you for being here. Bye bye.